It's a beautiful question. It's a common question, and yet the frequency of the question doesn't make the answer any easier. No one can really know exactly why God would do this. The metaphors that we use, the examples that we use to describe how it works. So for example, the concept of the ocean. And we describe it by saying you have the ocean. The heat shines on the ocean. It causes water to evaporate into the clouds. The clouds carry the drops of water. They drop them in various places. Certain drops end up being worshipped because they've been dropped in the Himalayas and they come down as Ganga or Yamuna. Other drops end up, people plug their nose as they walk by because it's been dropped in the sewer. People sweep them away. Whereas ultimately what they both are is ocean. Both of them are moving toward the ocean. Every drop of water on earth is moving toward the ocean. We use the word gravity to explain it, but gravity is just a word for a phenomenon that existed long before the apple fell on Newton's head. So water is moving back toward the ocean because that's its source. The source of fire is the sun. So fire, even if you dig a hole 300 feet in the ground and you light a fire, those flames will go up because the source of fire is the sun. So our source is God, is the divine, and we're on that path to go back. But the question of why isn't as easy as how we understand the ocean. Well, why? Because the sun is hot. And with physics, we can explain why heat causes evaporation. Then we can explain how pressure makes wind blow, how the wind blows and it causes the drops to fall. So with physics, we can understand the metaphor. But the actual first part, God, we don't know. What's been told to us? The word that's used to describe this is lila, which literally means divine play. And the way that it's been explained to us is that God wanted to experience himself, herself, itself through the creation. And why God wanted to do that, we don't know. But God has created the creation, this lila, for that purpose. And the only thing that I can offer you to help, rather than saying, well, this is what God has done, is you know, for example, that you and your loved one are one. If you're on a deep spiritual path, you understand we're one. Nonetheless, there's something very beautiful about being in love. And this is the path of bhakti, for example. All of the people who practice bhakti understand that they are one with he, she, it, whom they're worshiping. We all get that. And yet there is something very, very beautiful and enjoyable about devotion. And this is why that the path of dualism is a path that's chosen by so many people. It's not that people actually don't understand that fundamentally we're all one, that fundamentally everything is God. But that joy, that ras, that juiciness, literally, that we get in loving the other, you're literally, than simply sitting in awareness that it's all one. And so that's the only piece that I can offer you of why God might have wanted to experience that love, to experience that coming back, rather than just have everything stay in the ocean. That there's something very special about that moment in which the drop merges back with the ocean. There's something very special about that moment of being in love and connecting with the beloved, whether in the form of another being, in the form of the divine. And perhaps for that experience, God has created the creation in order to give us all that experience. I mean, it's not that he needed it, but to give us the experience of coming back, of re-emerging. You know, they say in terms of just regular relationships, distance makes the heart grow fonder, right? You've got a good marriage, things are fine, you tend to, take each other for granted a little bit. One of you goes away on a vacation, or for business, or whatever, comes back a few weeks later. Well, there's something very magical about that reunion. So, on a much higher and deeper level, perhaps, and I'm offering this only as a perhaps to give us that experience of the reunion. God has sent us out and made us forget, so that we go on this journey of coming back and have the possibility of that experience of reunion.